Today's podcast is brought to you by StrongHeartAcademy.com, where no heart is no victory. We are also brought to you by BJJ To Go. If you want to build your game and learn jiu-jitsu, go to bjjtogo.com. Third thing we're brought to you by is Rat Bat. You got rats? Want to kill bats? Kill them with a rat bat. Fourth thing we're brought to you by is hot dog flavored water ingredients. If you want to add it to your smoothie, hot dog flavor ingredient. So basically, I put out a thing on Facebook group for Strong Heart, and I said, hey, anyone that's willing to talk about addiction issues and willing to share it, coming out the other side and kind of their thoughts about it. You were someone that came out. I had one other person that might come out too, maybe next week.
Oh, cool.
So I'm thinking about doing maybe a couple people.
Yeah, like part 2, part 3.
Part 2, part 3, whatever, whoever wants to share it. I think it's a positive thing, and my goal was like, again, maybe people that watch it know that, hey, dude, you can get over this, you can get through this. It seems like you're in a dark place, and you are, but there is light at the other side.
Yes.
So, and you responded and said, yeah, I would want to do it because I think it might help people.
Mm-hmm.
So we were where we left off before we had a problem. Was you said, I said, when do you think, like what age would you start having a problem, and what was the issue that you had?
I probably like 17. We started to, as kids, go out to these desert parties, and we would get
common in Arizona. Yeah.
Yes, and we would get smashed, and I was kind of a shy teen, but once I got some drinks in me, I was like, the life of the party, and I could talk to anybody, and I was like, man, this is awesome. But I never really had a problem with it until I was like 20.
So you liked alcohol because you felt that it lubricated your sense, made you a little bit more outgoing and a little more personable instead of reserved.
Yes,
a little bit.
Yes.
Gave yourself an excuse to be more open or more talkative.
Yes.
It's funny because my grandfather, who was a psychologist and he was an alcoholic, and he was sober for 30 years before he died. But he told me too that for him, he was just very shy, and that alcohol just helped him talk to people. He didn't like to go to parties. They had to go to social parties sometimes. It's I didn't like to talk to people.
Yeah.
I didn't feel comfortable. And then I think later on, his was he was a psychologist for vets, and he had to hear some pretty terrible things. And I think it was a way for him to disconnect after work, type of thing. And then it became an excuse, I can't, go on. His got so bad. He said that he was seeing, I can't remember the name he called it, but he was having hallucinations.
Oh, wow.
When he tried to stop, his body was so addicted to alcohol that he said he was getting chased by a dinosaur or something like that. And I guess when you can get that far into alcohol, your body will try to force you to stay drinking and not stop. So anyway, it was interesting that you said that, because I remember my grandfather telling me that, and that stuck out in my head when I was a teenager, when he was talking to me about it. When do you think? So you said you didn't think it was a problem at that point because it's just during desert parties, not every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when did it?
It became a problem after I had something traumatic happen to me with, I got stabbed. I was having a party at my house, and it was on Halloween, and I got into a fight, and I was getting the upper hand.
How old were you? Do you think?
I was 19.
So young, and not young. Legally allowed to drink alcohol in Arizona, state of Arizona.
Yes, but I knew something was up with this guy when he walked right through my door. I just knew, and I could tell he was on something, because he was just really sporadic, and whoa, and all this stuff, and I was like, man, you need to chill, and back then, I would throw hands, that's what I did, we loved to fight, and finally it caught up to me, and somebody was bigger and badder than me. Even though he was getting the upper hand on me, he pulled out a weapon, and
you had the upper hand on him.
Yeah. With the fisticuffs. But,
yeah. Just fists.
Yeah, just fists.
And then he decided, I have a knife.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, and
How many times did you get cut?
he got
Cut
me
or stabbed?
stabbed.
Because I think people don't understand with knives.
Yeah.
It's usually stabbed, not cut. People like think slashing.
Yeah,
It's
a
more
stab. Yeah.
this sewing machine. Because you can get someone like 30 times. When you read some, got some stabbed 30 times, like that's excessive. I'm like, not really. Like in 1 minute, you could stab someone 60 times. Like it's just 1 second.
Oh yeah.
So how many times did you get stabbed?
He got me 5. He got me 5.
That's a lot.
And
holes.
And he punctured my lung.
Oh jeez.
And I just remember I didn't even know I was stabbed. I didn't even know. I just saw blood, and it wasn't even drizzling. Like it was squirting out of my chest.
Oh my gosh.
And I grabbed some paper towels, and I'm like, maybe this will make it stop. And it wasn't stopping. I'm like, what the fuck, man? So, my best friend was there, and he ended up saving my life because his mom's a nurse, so he knew exactly what to do in that situation. And he just held me with a towel and till the ambulance got there, pretty much.
Did you black out?
Did I back out?
Blackout.
Oh, blackout. No.
You were conscious the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, dude. I was getting lightheaded here and there, but I remember it like it was yesterday. So that's what led to trying to escape that moment is, getting messed up,
Oh, so that was bothering you.
Yes.
That traumatic. I mean, it's super fucking traumatic thing. You almost died.
Yeah.
Was it bothering your sleep then? Or just you would just think about it, or just?
I think subconsciously it messed with me. I don't think consciously it did. I think like it just bothered me that like he was walking and like I couldn't get revenge on him. I like that, and then also
like
just
justice. You didn't feel like there was justice.
Yeah, at all. Like he didn't get arrested or anything. Like
the cops never came.
They did, but they ended up saying that he got jumped, which is a total lie, like it was just me fighting him. All my friends were watching.
So they were saying self-defense.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So he just walked off like scotch-free, and I didn't want to press charges because I was just over it. Like I just wanted it to be over.
Yeah.
So.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
And that guy's still out there.
Yeah, he's still out there. I don't know what he's doing, or if he probably stabbed somebody again, or it's karma in my opinion.
Yeah.
Karma. I believe in karma so much. Like I know he'll get his.
Yeah, at some point.
Yeah.
Hopefully, turn it around.
Yeah.
Paid penance.
Yes.
Of some sort.
Yes.
So you were saying that you would think you were drinking to kind of numb that feeling of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to put words in your mouth. So if I'm saying something that's not right, just correct me.
No, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then how much do you think we're like, how did you know that, oh crap, this is what was the point where you're like, this is a problem?
Okay, so
I'm doing this obviously to fix something, but
yeah,
it's not working and it's affecting my life.
Yeah. So I was 20, and I had a 21-year-old friend, and I would hit him up all the time, call him and be like, hey, can you buy me a bottle? Hey, can you buy me a bottle? Sure. And he would, after like, so many times he was like, are you drinking by yourself? Yeah. I thought it was normal, growing up, I was always doing, always getting high, always messed up, always, trying to escape.
Yeah.
And that was normal life to me. So he was like, I think you got a problem. I'm like, no, I don't got a problem. This is what we do at this age. This is what we do. Like, and then when I turned 21, I'm like, fuck you. Like, I don't need you no more, And so I just started, drinking a lot. And then I remember one night, like when I was like 22 years old, like, so this is like a year after I'm 21.
Yeah.
And one night, for some reason, I was just like, what? I'm not going to drink tonight. I just want to see what happens if I don't drink.
Yeah.
And that's when I started having withdrawals. And I was like, whoa, what? And my heart started to beat like irregular. Like I thought it was like having a heart attack.
Really?
Yeah, so I was like, what's
That's
going
your body
on?
trying to like. Is so used to it, it needs it.
Yeah. Well, I was smoking a joint, and then that's when it started, like right there, like, and I was like,
I think
whoa.
that can elevate your heart rate too, though.
Yeah, yeah. So I went to my mom. I'm like, um, I think I need to go to the hospital because I don't feel right. Like,
Did your parents know that you were drinking a lot? Were you living with them at the time? Or?
yeah. I lived with them for a long time, because I was just trying to,
Get it together.
get it together.
Yep.
Like, but no, they did to a certain extent. Like, I remember bringing out big old trash bags, like those big ass black bags
Uh-huh.
of alcohol, just, and they're
Oh,
like,
okay.
what the
They
hell?
can
Like,
hear it. Yeah, yeah. Clink, 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 clink.
yeah,
Clink,
they're
clink, clink.
like, what? So, yeah,
You just hide it in your room or whatever?
that's what I was doing. I was just hiding it under my bed and stuff, and then when they would leave or something, I would throw it in the recycling bin, and then they would look in the recycling bin and be like, yo, what is going on with you? Like, and I'm like, oh, I'm just
You were
having
already
friends.
at 21 at that time. Though.
Yeah, I was 21 at the time, so they
So you were
kind of
legally allowed to do that. But
yes.
also, as your parents, they're like, hey, this is an excess amount of alcohol.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I was going to the my mom took me to the hospital that night when I didn't drink, and the doctor started running some tests, and he goes, "How much do you drink?" And I, like every day. And he goes, "Every day." He goes, "How much do you drink?" And I lied. I said 3 beers a day, and he was like, "Son, I think you're having alcohol withdrawal." Like, I'm like, "What?" Like, that's when I first knew or found out that I had a problem. Was that day.
That
22
like, hey,
years old.
That we were having withdrawals from alcohol.
Yeah, I didn't even know that I had a problem with it.
But you recognized that it was a problem at that point, though.
Yes.
Like, oh crap.
Yes.
Okay. What was your next step? Did it change, or did it take you longer to change? Did you have to something else have to happen to make the actual change, the action to? I mean, you're sober now.
Yeah.
How long have you been sober now?
I've been sober for 4.5 years now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
But what helped you get sober?
What helped me was dude, I feel like you really got to hit rock bottom, dude. Like,
Really?
really hit rock bottom. One of my good friends' brother just died like a month ago from overdose.
On drugs or?
Yeah, heroin. And it sucks, and
heroin and meth in Phoenix is really, really,
Yes.
really, 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 really,
Yes.
really, really bad. Everyone got on pills because of doctors,
Mm-hmm.
and then took that away, and then also they were realizing that heroin was cheaper than pills, and then they're just on heroin now. And
Yeah.
then some of them, to get off heroin, they were using meth too. Meth's been around. When I was younger, meth was a problem. And then I just recently, in the last 10, 15 years, it seems like heroin is now a problem.
Yeah.
And it's just terrible. And I know people that have got off of that too, and that's really hard to get off of.
Yes.
Really hard to get off of.
Yes.
And I just, I wanted to do this one because I wanted to show people that it is possible.
Mm-hmm.
For one of the biggest things in my life that I've learned for myself is when I have confidence to do things is that I see someone did it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's possible. If someone's done it, it's possible.
Yes.
So that's kind of how I thought about with this, trying to do these podcasts, is that I want to show people that you can have a serious addiction problem, and it is possible to stop.
Yeah.
One thing I realized too, of all the addicts in my life that I've known, friends and family and stuff, is you can help people or want to help people, but until they want to help themselves, you're doing zero, like nothing's.
Exactly.
It's not you can't change someone. I can't go, oh, Brandon, you need to stop doing drugs or alcohol. We know, like, until you've know that internally
Yes.
and made the decision to do that, I feel like, and being someone that I don't consider myself an addict,
Yeah.
but being around them so much is like, I've just noticed that, like, you just got to be willing to be there when they're ready, But if they're not ready, you're just wasting your breath, and do not enable them whatsoever.
Yes.
Like, do not enable them to do the things that they want to do.
Yes.
Like, I'm not going to be a part of that part of your life. When you're ready to straighten out, I'll be right. I'll be here, man. You know?
Exactly. You got to take away everything from the addict. You got to make them hit that rock bottom, just like you said. You can't force somebody. If you would have came up to me and been like, hey, Brandon, you got a drinking problem when I was drinking,
Yeah.
I would have bought 2 more beers
Just
on
to
top
prove
of
you-
it.
yeah.
Just to be like, you know what? Like, shut the fuck up. Like, I don't need to hear that. Like, and it's true. It goes through one ear and out the other.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's perfectly right. Like, that's a lot of wisdom there. Like,
What do you think though was like? I mean, you saw the doctor, and they're like, look, you're going through withdrawals. That was a wake up call, but did you stop from there, or
hell no.
did you? No. Okay.
Hell no,
No.
dude.
You just kept going.
Yeah. Right after that, I like maybe 3 days later, I started drinking again, and then just kept drinking, and then
Same amounts.
same amount.
You never try to, because a lot of times an addict will like, well, if I cut back a little bit, or if I add something
If
different,
you drink just
know.
beer,
Yeah, there you go. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'll just use beer, not absinthe or something.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You didn't try to trick. You just was like, I'm just gonna go back to it.
Yeah, I was young and dumb, and I still wanted to, escape. Like, it's the best escape, and when you're by yourself and you're
Is it the best escape, or do you think it like at the
At
time?
the time,
Yeah.
yeah, I thought it was.
Do you find that you have other, like, what helps you now? Like, I mean, you train jiu-jitsu.
Dude,
Do you think jiu-jitsu helped you?
oh
or-
my gosh, jiu-jitsu saved me. It really did. It saved me. Like, finding a hobby like that, like,
How long have you trained with me now?
like 4.5 years.
So shortly after you got sober, you
Yeah,
started doing jiu-jitsu.
yeah. I think 6 months sober, I came in here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you feel like that helped keep you straight.
Yes. Yeah. But the crazy thing is, I thought it was a sign from God was when I ended up going to rehab, was I met somebody there, and he was a blue belt at the time. You've met him.
Really?
Um.
You don't have to say his name. I don't want him.
No. Oh yeah. That's cool.
I don't want to get him in trouble. Or
Yeah. But anyways, I saw him, and I saw his cauliflower ear in rehab.
Really?
And I was training when I was drinking. Like,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would go to Shay's house.
Oh, okay.
And
Trainer Shay.
and I would be drunk, and I would start rolling at his house, and I would wake up the next day with bruises all over my body, because when you're drinking so much, like, your liver, it's like easier to bruise. Like,
Okay.
when-
I don't know this. I could ask Peter.
yeah, when you're an alcoholic, like, you bruise, like, just from like a smack like that,
Really?
you'll bruise up. So, like, I would go home with bruises. But I met my friend in rehab. He had cauliflower ear, and I said, "You train?" He goes, "Yeah, I train." I said, "Can we train together?" And he's like, "Sure." He's like, "Come over to my house, I'm like, "Okay, cool." And so, the first time I flaked out on him, a lot of people that are new to jiu-jitsu, they flake
Yep.
constantly.
Yep.
So I flaked out on him like 3 times.
Yeah.
The 4th time, he's like, "Bro, like,"
That's how I never. Someone says, "Oh, I want to try it out. I want to try your school out." I don't hold my breath.
yes,
Like, if you show up, I'm like, sweet.
yeah,
But I'm not gonna. All my hopes and dreams aren't gonna be into that, because so many people flake out.
yeah, dude,
So
so much.
that's part of the deal.
So yeah, I flaked on him, and he's like, "You know what?" He's like, "Quit being a pussy and just get over here, and let's do the damn thing." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"All right, man, like, let's go." And he's like, and I get there, and he has a mat in his garage, and
Mhm.
he's got his little blue belt with his 4 stripes that he's had for like 6 years, because he was getting off meth.
Okay.
So he would be coming in and out of
Yep.
training, so
Yep.
he could never get promoted.
Yeah.
So he was
Gotta be consistency. Is it how you get?
Yes. Yeah. That's a big part of jiu-jitsu, is being consistent, coming 2 to 3 days a week. But so he was like this is probably like his 10th year into jiu-jitsu, and this is
Oh, wow.
2015.
Okay.
So I came into his garage, and he was just started putting a whooping on me, dude. Like, didn't hold back.
Yeah.
And dude, I love that guy for it, because it made me so tough. Like, he used to just dog me, like, just.
He trains at a gym in the valley?
No, he moved to California.
Okay.
And he's at I don't know what gym.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
now. Okay,
yeah.
because I met him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, and I guess Redoom trains there, and
Redoom, yeah.
RDA, and all that, all
right, cool, yeah.
all those high level guys. But yeah, like, ever since that day meeting him, dude, it was like God put him in my life for a reason.
I believe that God puts people in people's lives. So.
Well, I used to curse God, when I was deep into it. Sometimes
Deep into drinking, you mean?
Yeah, deep into drinking. Those movies where you get, like, you see people get down on their knees and they're like, why?
Yeah.
That was me in real life. I'm
Yep.
like, fuck you, God, for making me this way.
Yep.
And I feel ashamed to say that, but it's the truth.
But
like,
it's the truth. Truth is still the truth, man.
it's the truth, and sometimes I would lay my head down to sleep, and I would just say, fuck you, amen.
Jeez.
Yeah, dude, because, like, I couldn't get it together. I couldn't beat this thing, dude.
Yep.
A liquid that you drink was taking over my life.
Yeah.
And that is so frustrating, man.
Yeah.
So frustrating.
Yeah.
So.
And you were saying that you made me, and you made me this way.
Yes.
So it's your fault that instead of taking the responsibility,
yes,
that you have to do this work.
Yep. Yeah, and it's but
God made. I mean, I totally understand that. Like, I totally get that. I remember, I had a bunch of learning disabilities when I was a kid, and man, school was so hard. And I remember just
like
praying to God. I'm like, why did you make me this way? Like, why did you? Why
dyslexia?
Yeah, dyslexia, but I have a bunch of other ones, and I've been looking it up lately, and some of the things I can't find even answers for what is neurologically going on. It has, but one day I made the commitment to go, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I have this thing, whatever, but it's time to move on.
Yeah.
And I did well. I started getting A's in school, and I was in all these special needs classes. I asked my parents to take me out. I'm like, I don't want to be in any of these classes anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not helping me. It's hindering me.
Yeah.
It's like a crutch. I'm like, I don't take the crutch off. Like,
yeah.
I'm going to work harder than everybody else, and I'm just going to get good grades that way.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. But I remember when I was a kid, I was just like so mad. And I also had depression, and I had, I had ADD, this is called ADHD because I have ADHD, So I just was like so upset. Like, why would you, I believe in you. Why would you do that to me? But I know, I think now it gave me the understanding that I could still outwork it. I don't think everything could do that, but it helped me. In some ways it helped me. But at the time I didn't see it as a positive. I saw it as like, why would you do this to me? Why would you give me this darkness inside me? I don't like this darkness.
Yeah.
And I would blame him for the darkness instead of like getting over it, and just or trying. You can't just say, "Oh, just get over it," but trying to work at it. You know, finally, when I decided to just put the work in, then things got better for me.
Yeah.
But so I totally understand that, like, you're born whatever, and then the powerlessness of it, I get that too, like the powerlessness of it. And then you're just kind of saying like this liquid, that
yes.
I totally, being powerless for something that feels like it's simple.
Yes.
But it can't seem to. So what made you go to rehab then? Or did your parents help you go to rehab?
Yeah.
Or stayed or?
Yeah, it was well, first of all, I went to a detox center in 2013, and that was the worst thing I've ever seen. Like, it was state run.
That's rough.
So there was like 5 people sleeping in a bed, or not in a bed. I'm sorry, 5 beds in one room.
Okay,
and you're sleeping, and when I got out of there, I was like, you know, I went 2 months sober. That was the longest I went. And then I started drinking again. And that's my story is, getting clean for a little bit, drinking again, getting clean.
That's a lot of people's story, man.
Yeah. And then, yeah, it just took its course, man. And then, you know, after a while, you just get sick of it. Like, you're just done with it,
That's
dude.
the done.
So I think I was 25 at the time, and my friend was graduating college, and I knew it was getting towards the end of it. Like, I started to think, you know, I'm gonna have to go soon. So I just went all out for his grad party, you know, like just drank so much, man. Like, got hammered, and then I called my mom and I'm like, I'm going to rehab. Like, book it. Like, let's go. Like, let's do the damn thing. So that's how I went to rehab, is just, you know, being done, like rock bottom type of shit. Like, it's terrible.
I had my best friend growing up, and I don't talk to him any longer. I feel guilty a little bit for it. He ended up going to prison, and then that was done after that. But like at one point, he called me, and I was married, and I was running strong hard, but I didn't have a lot of money. I had 2 jobs. I was doing landscaping, and he called me at like, I think I was in bed sleeping with my wife, and I got a call, and it was like, I want to say it was like 1 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, hey, it's so-and-so. There's a bed on Thunderbird Hospital at like 59th Avenue or whatever. They have a bed that they'll give me for 3 days. I have no way to get there. I ripped up all my credit cards and I threw them away in the trash, so they have no access to any money. I have no money. And I went in the middle of the night and I met him. I brought my 45 because I just didn't trust him at that point anymore.
Wow.
And then he was he was doing pills and meth and everything, and he was out of fucking control.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember dropping him off, and I took him there, and that was it. Like, it's the last time I saw him. And then he ended up some other, I don't remember the time frame anymore, man, but he ended up going to prison. It didn't work, that one.
Yeah.
It didn't work, and this is like not the first time, since we were teenagers, and these were in my 20s when that happened, I think. And but I remember taking him to the rehab because they had a bed, and he was like, I just need to be I need to be in a room by myself.
Wow.
Get it out, And I was, go again. You get sober, go back. Get sober, go back. Get sober, go back. And last time I heard, he's sober. I think he's out of prison, and I think hopefully he's getting his stuff together. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But man, it tears people, and it is a deep thing to get out.
Yeah.
To get it out of you. It's
Mm-hmm.
not easy. It's not like pulling a splinter out, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
So so you went to rehab after that. You were drinking just crazy amount for your buddies, and you talked to your mom to go to rehab, and then that was the final one.
Yeah, and then I went home, and I remember trying to back my way out of it the last second, but
Okay.
she was like, you are gonna go, because they were this close to setting up an intervention, and
Okay.
I did not want that. Like, I'm like, fuck, like people sitting all around saying like, I miss you and blah blah blah. Like, no way I'm gonna go through that. Like, no way. So yeah, I ended up going, dude, and it saved my life. It really did. And then seeing my friend there that trained,
Was that the first time you met him? Was that the rehab? Or?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
So literally, like, you felt like he was there, and that was what you needed, meet that guy.
Yeah, I truly believe God puts people there, people in your life in certain situations, and that I got lucky. I got so lucky that he was there.
Yep.
I don't know if I would have ever picked up jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
What would have happened if I didn't start doing jiu-jitsu?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I started drinking again because I was bored. Or
Yeah. I tell people all the time, like, it's important to have something in your life, because that old saying is like, idle hands is the devil's playground.
Yes.
When you have nothing to do with your hands, they're going to get you in trouble. And kids are this way too. Like, I remember when we were kids and I didn't have any programs to be in, we would just find trouble with that same friend that ended up going to prison.
Yeah.
But for sure, like, we would just find crazy stuff to do, instead of like, so I always find it, I try to tell people, like, you got to get your kids into something. It doesn't have to be sports. It could be it could be anything, art, music, whatever. They have to have something to strive for, to try to master, to meet people, to be with other people that are also trying to strive to get better. It's good to be surrounded by other people that want better for themselves.
Yes.
And like, okay, we all want better for ourselves. Like this, we're a part of the same crew here of trying to be better people.
Yes.
That is a powerful thing. And when you don't have that and you're just screwing off and doing nothing, like, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
That's how I found jiu-jitsu, is like, I just knew that I was 19 and I was just screwing off and I was drinking, not like that, but I was just, I felt like I wasn't going anywhere and doing anything. And I remember when I wrestled that I got good grades, I had a girlfriend, I was in shape, like all these things that wrestling seemed like it did for me.
Yeah.
So I saw a sign that said submission wrestling, but this was in 2000, and I didn't know what jiu-jitsu was. I didn't know what the UFC was. A lot of people say they joined jiu-jitsu because of UFC.
Yeah.
I just saw a sign that says wrestling, and I went and I tried to bring this girl to impress. I got the crap beat out of me, and I was hooked after that, because wrestling was that way too. When I started wrestling in junior high, I got the crap beat out of me.
Yeah.
I thought I was tough, and I was like, no, I'm not. And I was like hooked right there.
Yeah.
But I did it because I needed something with my spare time. After work, what do I do? Well, what I did was drink and just watch TV. Like, I wasn't like getting in trouble really, but I didn't like not doing something. And I felt like you're just going to get fat and unhealthy and not have any goals or anything and not have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
So I was like, I didn't want none of that.
Yeah.
So that's why I joined. And I try to tell people that, like, you got to have something. Obviously I love jiu-jitsu and I have a school and I want people to train at my school, but find something.
Yeah.
Find, I don't care what it is, model trains. It doesn't matter. If you're dig model trains and that keeps you out of trouble.
Oh yeah.
Go for it, man.
Perfectly fine.
Get in deep with other people that dig it.
Yeah.
Go for it. I just, it's such a weird lesson, I think, that people don't understand.
Yeah.
So many people they don't have anything. They just watch TV and
drink. Play video games,
Play video games. But video games are cool too, but like, it's like anything, moderation, man.
Yeah.
I know someone that lost their house playing WoW.
Get the hell
World
out of here.
Warcraft, Yeah, he was playing it like 30 hours a day. 30 hours a day. There's not 30 hours a day. But he was like playing like 30 hours, though, like more than 24 hours. He was like just straight.
Yeah.
He'd have to go to work, whatever. He'd call into work. Or then when he wouldn't go to work, he wasn't sleeping, so he was doing poor work. So he lost his job. Then he lost his house. And so on and so on and so on. So, it's anything could be addiction, man.
Yeah, that WoW is I've heard stories about that, man. A lot of people get deep into that.
Yeah. So after that, like, when you got out, did you ever go to meetings or anything? Or?
Yeah. So I did go.
Do you find them important, or?
To each is their own, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, I was going to meetings, and it did help for the first year, for me, this isn't, to everybody. This is just me.
Yeah.
After the first year, I was like, I'm good. Like, I don't need to, and I don't want to, shit on anybody that goes to meetings, because it's really good. Like, everybody's there and everybody's sharing and trying to help each other, but that's just not me, like, for me, it was going for that year and just being like, you know what, like, I'm missing jiu-jitsu tonight, and that's the only thing that's on my mind is jiu-jitsu, and there's just not enough time in the day for me personally, and to mix meetings with jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
So, my higher power is arm bars and kimuras and all that shit, like, guillotines. That's my higher power, that getting better at wrestling, and that's what helps me stay sober every day. Every day, dude.
To push that to get better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anybody that has a problem, like they going to meetings gets you through it, then, all power to them. Yeah, dude. Like, I kind of got shunned out of the meetings a little bit by my old sponsor. He was just like, because you got to help people. That's like, first you got to admit there's a problem. Okay, that you have a problem. Yeah, of course I got a problem. I'm at a fucking meeting, man. Like,
yeah.
And then, other things like, he said, you got to help people. And I'm like, man, I'm trying to help myself. Like, like helping myself is hard enough.
Yep.
So, and he was just like, you know what? Like, I can't sponsor you no more. And I'm like, all right, man. Like, thanks for sticking with me. I didn't even get to finish the 12 steps. I got to like the 8th step.
It's pretty far.
Yeah, it is pretty far. But I was almost there, and he was like, I can't take you all the way because you're not doing what you need to do. And okay, cool, man. Like, no ill will towards him. He's doing his thing. Hopefully he's still sober. I don't talk to him no more. But
you never thought about just getting another sponsor? Or?
Nah, at that point I was like, I was done.
You felt like you understood what was going to work for you to keep you straight.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think that's good to recognize that, unless you need meetings. And then, because you also don't want to trick yourself into go, I'm fine, and you're not fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the right thing is. I know people that they have to do meetings. They have to work the steps. They have to work all the process and stuff. I put this book up here. I read this book. It's actually pretty good, The Power of Habit, and they talk about AA in it. It's super interesting.
Yeah.
Like the background of AA, and there's no scientific anything to it.
Yeah.
And it's still it has the highest probability of success as the 12 steps.
Yeah.
Over everything.
It's crazy, and they founded it in like what, early 1900s?
Yeah, it was like 1917 or 20 or something like that.
Crazy.
And the guy that did it was an absolute mess. The dude was a mess.
Yeah.
And he just came up with it,
Yeah, and he just started helping people and started talking,
and it's he wrote the book Alcoholics Anonymous, and but it's crazy that it still works.
Yeah.
And it works for a lot of people, and I don't have anything. It's funny because my friend that had issues, he had to go to mandatory meetings when he was a teenager. He didn't have a ride. I was 16 or 17 at the time, and I said, "Look, I'll take you." So I would go and I would sit in a room with him, and all these addicts would just talk. And it wasn't Alcoholics Anonymous; that was like CA Anonymous.
Oh, okay.
And I remember just hearing just crazy. And it's funny because when you go to meetings, nobody check. It's not like a check, are you an addict? No, they want you to be there. So they just assume that you're there because you have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But anyone could just walk, or at the time, I could just walk in and sit down. And I did, because I'm like, I'm not going to stay out front of my car. Back then was before smartphones.
Yeah.
So there wasn't like I could hang out on my phone or whatever. Like, I just had my car. And so I was like, I'll just go in the meetings with you and just sit down, and no one asked me to speak or nothing. So I sat through a lot of meetings, man.
Wow.
I think he had to go twice a week or something for a while, and I took him all his meetings.
Yeah.
And I remember he got his chips and all that kind of stuff, and but it was like eye-opening for me. It did suck though, because back then you were still allowed to smoke indoors. That's how long ago this was.
Wow.
You could smoke indoors. So I remember I hated cigarettes, and I was like, I would feel like I would smell so bad because all those fools just chain smoke.
Hell yeah.
Oh man, they're like, I'm not doing drugs, but just, pounding through cigarettes.
Yeah.
And I'm sure like being there was intense too, and like they're talking about intense things, intense parts of their life, and like they're just trying to like just trying to cope and get through it. So I get it, but like I remember this, you could see, you'd open the door and just thick smoke in there, and it was so nasty. And I always felt, and I have bad lungs, so I was always like when I get out of there. But I remember thinking like this is a interesting thing, and it was like super ghetto building it was in, and like it was just like not lawn chairs, but like folding chairs and like tables and stuff. And there was nothing in this place was poor and broken, and it was like filled to the teeth with people.
Yeah.
And it now might have been like where all the people that were forced to go or whatever, because he ended up having to go to task and all that. And I would take him to his task stuff, but you can't go into that because they check. That is an ID thing. They check.
Did he have a problem though, or was it just? Is he good now, or is that the one that went to prison?
That's the one that went to prison.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that didn't end well.
No, he had a problem.
Okay,
sure.
Yeah.
And that wasn't his first time. And he had to go to rehab too. And I mean, but I was a teenager. I didn't understand as much as I understand now about all that. And like I said, now I understand that like you can't help people that aren't willing to get helped, and he just wasn't ready to get helped.
Yeah.
And I remember at one point he broke out of like the rehab place when he was like a teenager, and he was forced to go there, and he like ditched it and all this kind of stuff.
Wow.
Homeless and just mess, man.
Yeah, I hear.
So when I got into jiu-jitsu and like really into jiu-jitsu, I didn't want to deal with any of that. I didn't even deal with any people that were doing any of that. So a lot of my friends, I found out now, other friends that I just didn't stop talking to, they all had issues too, and they've gone through it, and I'm glad most of them are on the other side of it now, which is awesome, but I didn't even know, because if you weren't doing jiu-jitsu, I just didn't hang out with you. I stopped, like, all my friends that didn't do jiu-jitsu, like, most of my friends now are all people in jiu-jitsu, which is weird, but like I said,
awesome,
I wanted
man.
to surround myself with people that are positive and doing things and doing the things that I wanted to do, and jiu-jitsu was like my obsession. So that's the people that I hung out with, and those people didn't do those type of things, you're not at the bar if you're at jiu-jitsu, because jiu-jitsu is at night, right? So usually when you're at the bar, it's usually at night. So most people are here, and like you're drinking the night before or doing whatever, like you try to do jiu-jitsu next day and you're like dying. Like, it's so physically hard. You also don't want to do that to your body, because it makes jiu-jitsu harder. Like, I don't want to I'm trying to beat Joe over here. And Joe, is in shape, and I'm drinking a gallon of whatever the night before. Like, that to me helped me just stay straight, I think.
Yeah.
Like, I want to take care of my body is better. I should definitely still eat better, but I worked on my sleep. I worked on drinking more water, and I didn't want to put a bunch of stuff in my body that was going to make me suck more. I'm like, this is already hard enough, you know what I mean? Like, it's like carrying a bunch of bricks, like, hey, do this while carrying this weight. I'm like, I don't want that as well, so I just quit associating with people that weren't straight and doing things.
That's
I was kind of like out of the loop, so I know some people, it's hard to stay sober because all their friends are addicts too, or drink or alcoholics too, and like it's almost like you got to find new friends. Like, I don't
exactly. Yep.
That's rough. That's hard, man. It's not easy. You really like these people. Like, it's hard to go, oh, I don't do that anymore. And they're like, well, we do. What do you do? Yeah. I feel like you just gotta make new friends, man. Like, sorry.
Yeah, I cut out a lot of people, man. A lot of people.
Did you feel like they took that personally?
Yes. Yeah? A few of them did. Yeah. It sucks, man. And I still see some of them doing really bad, and there's nothing I can do, man. I'm sorry, but my life is
different trajectory.
And it's
now you got a house.
Yeah, I got a house.
Good job.
I just hung a 75-inch TV on my wall. Like, I made it. Like,
that's the American dream,
dude,
man. Right?
Like, I feel like, and I don't really need things to make me happy. That's the biggest thing that God blessed me with is I see a lot of people that are always trying more and more and more. Yep. And that's a gift. You can
fill yourself with like stuff.
Yes.
Fill yourself with stuff, like getting more stuff.
Yes.
And that's an easy trap as an American to get into as well. Like, I need this, I need that, I need,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah. Well, it's a gift and a curse, I think, because
Can afford it,
you're
yes.
always working, it's always on your mind, and then your personal life starts to fall apart a little bit, and then you're always thinking about getting it. But it's good though that you want to get it and you want to make your life better financially and everything. But I feel like you need to just switch that off, man. Like with whatever you do as a hobby, like with jiu-jitsu, when I walk through these doors, man, like everything goes away for that hour.
Yeah.
Like,
And I try to explain that to people too, that it's hard for them to understand that, like, sometimes what you're doing when you're drinking, or like you were saying before, numbing and forgetting the hardness of life, because life is straight hard and no one gets out alive.
Yeah.
That's the truth. No one gets out alive.
Yeah.
And no one gets out unscathed either.
Yeah.
Things are going to be hard in their life. You could lose a leg, you could lose an arm, you could be paralyzed.
God forbid.
Yeah, but like family, pets die, girlfriends leave, boyfriends leave, wives leave, children get sick, like there's a lot of tough things in life, man, jobs and all this. So like sometimes it's good to be here, do jiu-jitsu, because there's nothing else you can really think about when someone's trying to attack you. We're rolling, you're trying to submit me, I'm trying to submit you. It's a singular focus that my brain has to focus on, and it's not even possible. Like meditation's hard because you have to learn how to be in the moment, and it's hard to do that. It's not blocking out distractions. You are, but you're not forcing that. It's learning to be in the moment. And in jiu-jitsu, you have no other choice to be in the moment when you're trying to pass my guard or you're trying to choke me. Oh my goodness, Brandon's on my back. I can't be thinking, oh man, I owe taxes this month, or oh man, my kids are, whatever. My wife yelled at me the night before. Like those aren't thoughts that are even possible. Your brain will not allow you to even do those thoughts.
Yeah.
And you're not dulling it by taking some sort of stimulus or drug or liquid or pill or whatever, pill, powder, whatever you want to call it. It's just a physical nature that's in us, to battle. As men, I think, is to battle, but it's a positive way because we shake hands afterwards and there's no animosity about it. But I feel like you said, when you walk in the door, you get to put this other stuff away.
Yes.
And then for me it lasts. So like the exercising part of it, the aspect is so physically demanding and mentally demanding that if I roll, it'll last. The mental aspect, positive aspect, will last like 2 to 3 days.
Yeah.
I get 2 to 3 days of like clarity from the jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So I feel like, jiu-jitsu is a good helper on that kind of stuff. But again, that's not for everybody.
No.
It's a lie.
No.
I mean, I want to believe it is.
Same.
But some people don't like closeness, they're the same people that don't like hugs. If you ever met someone like, I don't hug, don't touch, they don't want to be touched even. You're not going to be able to do jiu-jitsu, man, because we're on top of each other. They're just certain personality types you might not work with, but for those that it would, you should be doing jiu-jitsu, like 100%.
Or judo or any martial art.
Yeah, you're boxing, whatever.
Yeah. Doesn't
even
matter.
Just eating bags is good. If you don't want to spar, but I'm glad you found it, and it's you're here. I appreciate you trading with me. I appreciate you coming on here and just sharing with me, man.
Yeah, dude, this was great, man.
What would you we can close it down. What would you think what advice would you give somebody that is struggling right now with some sort of addiction? What would you say? I mean, we kind of talked about they had to make the decision, but if you could whisper in their ear, what would you say?
I would just say, don't let this get worse than it already is. That's it. That's all you have to say is that. That's what I would tell myself. So that's what I would tell the next person. Just get sober, man. Being sober is not bad, man. I mean, there's times where, of course, you want to escape, but you got to realize that you can't. If I had one beer right now, I would go back to the person I was, and I would lose jiu-jitsu. I would lose my job. I would lose my house, everything. So I have a lot riding on it. But with the person that's struggling right now, just, man, just get it, like, figured out before it gets worse. That's it, man. Very easy.
Well,
but easier said than done.
Easier said than done, but the concept is still have to stop.
Yes, and if you don't, it's gonna be either death or it's gonna be jail.
Yeah.
So, but when you're so far into your addiction, you don't care about those things.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a tricky question to answer, because if I would have told myself that when I was drinking, what the fuck? Like, I don't care. Like,
yeah. But if you don't recognize, at that point in your life, you didn't recognize you had a problem either, though.
Yeah.
I'm saying if you know Joe Smith here they recognize that they have a problem. They just can't seem to figure out a solution.
Yeah.
But you would say, don't make it worse.
Yes.
And attack the problem now.
Exactly.
Like, you know that you have a problem, and attack the problem now.
Yeah, if you know you have the problem, which that's the hardest part.
That's the hard part, to recognize that you have the problem.
Because then, saying that you have a problem is like, it's like being on your deathbed, man. Like, no, but you don't want to admit.
You don't want to admit you have a problem.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. And that's why I don't really talk about my addiction with regular folk. Like, you're very understanding and have a lot of wisdom on it. But a lot of people are like, it's not a disease, and I'm not the one sticking the needle in your arm. So,
yeah,
some people don't sympathize with it, and that's okay. Just to anybody that's struggling, you just one day at a time, man. One day at a time.
So do you have that motto though? Like every morning you wake up and like, I got to get through the day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, every day. It's one day at a time. 1 hour at a time sometimes.
But you know what? Like, honestly, so this is going to sound stupid, but like I did that 3,000 push-up challenge. I don't know if you know I was doing that.
Yeah.
Trying to get 3,000 push-ups in 30 days. And I did it earlier, but when I was getting through sets, and I've done this in the past, is just like, get through this set. Get through this. And in jiu-jitsu that too, when I'm like dying, like I'm sucking wind, and like this big, strong, good at jiu-jitsu person is attacking me. I'm like, I look at the clock and I go, okay, just get through this 30 seconds. Like, I don't go, what's the next round? No, man, it's like, get through this 30 seconds. When I hate running. When I did run, I would like, get to that stop sign, run to that. Just, I don't go, hey, it's 5 miles, I got to get through 5 miles. I go, get to that point there. Then I get to that point, and I'm like, okay, get to the next light. Get to the next light. Do you find that is a good motto, like, to get through sobriety? Like, hey, man, don't worry about 5 years down the road. You got to worry about now. And that's an in the moment thing too, though. Everyone talks about in the moment. Like that's about as in the moment as you can get, right? Like, I got to be sober this hour.
Yeah, it's not a speed race. It's a turtle race.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Like, just put one foot in front of the other.
Yeah.
Like you said, stop sign's right there. I'm going to make it to there. Or 30 seconds is on the clock, and you got a big guy smashing on top of you.
That helps me get through so many things in life. Like, just get through this week. Just get through this day, man. So I get that. I mean, I can't 100% relate because I didn't, have the same addiction issues, but I know that concept of, like, you look too far down, it is too big. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes when you look too far down, you're like, it's just too much to take on.
Yeah.
But if you just take a little bite out of it, it's not as bad. And then just add another bite, add another bite, another bite. Well, man, I appreciate you coming on, man. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, man.
We didn't go over? Or?
I don't think so, man. I think we covered everything, dude. It was awesome being on. I loved it.
I didn't know if anyone was going to respond. This is something I've been thinking about for a while. I think addiction is such a bad issue in America, and I don't feel like it's being addressed at all on any level, government or anybody's really
Well, I
do
hope
anything about it. So I want to just put people out that could talk about it, be honest about it, and
Yeah.
show that, hey, it is possible. Because like I said in the beginning, for me, like so many things I've gotten accomplished in my life is only because I knew that it was possible. And when you know something is possible, there's hope. And when there's hope, you can get through things. When you don't have hope, that's a dangerous thing.
Yeah.
That's when the nihilism sets in, and all the bad things in life, I think, get way worse.
Yes.
The no hope.
Yeah.
So, I've always used that as a kind of a guide. Like, hey, if that guy can do it, I could do it.
Yeah.
There's nothing special about that person other than whatever.
Yeah.
I can overcome the same things.
Yeah, exactly. And you said, the problems are getting worse, and I hope like CBD really starts to take over pain pills.
Yeah.
That's a step in the right direction right there, is getting rid of pain pills and starting CBD. That's better for you anyway. It's not like you can get addicted to CBD, but you can get addicted to pain pills. So
for sure.
Yeah.
I'm fortunate that pain pills don't really work on me.
Yeah.
They don't work at all, and they make me sick.
Yeah.
So I don't enjoy I've had people, oh man, it was great. I got some, whatever from the surgery.
Yeah.
When I had surgery, it's just, I took them for a little bit, and I just felt like dulled.
Yeah.
I was like, this is not, I don't enjoy that. That's not fun at all.
Well, were you taking the right, were you overdoing it or?
No.
That's why.
I wasn't taking enough.
Yeah.
I wasn't taking enough. Okay. Yeah. But it didn't even dull the pain though.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I still feel pain.
Yeah.
I just feel slow.
Yeah.
And I can't think straight.
Yeah.
But I still feel pain. So I was just like, this is garbage. I just throw them away. Usually when I take pain pills, I got rid of them.
Yeah.
And then certain ones make me nauseous. Like I hate the feeling of nausea.
Yeah.
Nausea. I was like, screw this, man. I'm just not deal with pain.
Yeah.
Bite down on something. Ice for me is the best pain reliever.
Oh, I love
just
it.
Ice.
Love
ice
it.
baths, ice. I have CBD that I sell in the school. That's that roll-on stuff.
Yeah.
That's worked the best for me. But I've tried all kinds of CBD. I've tried oral. I even tried the one that you can like smoke.
Yeah.
Like a vapor or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I find the stuff that I sell now works the best.
Yeah.
But it took me a while, dude. Like I went through a bunch of brands and a bunch of different types of ingesting and stuff. So I feel like whatever works, as long as it doesn't harm you or harm someone else, then that's it. So like the CBD stuff has been weird for me. Like it's been a kind of a journey because so many people in jiu-jitsu use CBD.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, it's gotta work, right? So I think it just took me time to find the one that works for me or whatever. I don't know what's the difference.
Yeah.
If it works, man.
Yeah, dude. If it gets anybody off pain pills or
anxiety medicine,
Yeah. Then
people taking Xanax, like it's candy. It's like for anxiety, but I heard a lot of people I know take CBD and they said it really helps their anxiety. Like it
mellows you out.
Yeah. Without making like high. It's not THC,
Yeah. Yeah, I might have to take one of those when I get on a plane, but that's about it. And I'm not going to abuse them, but being on planes is like scary, dude.
Yeah?
So, I might have to get one of those because me and my girl are planning to go in Hawaii.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and next year. So, man, that's going to be rough. So, but I promise I won't abuse
It's only 5 hours.
Over the ocean. You don't know what's underneath there, man.
Bro, the way that I always think about it, all that kind of stuff, is that it'll be quick and whatever. I just go I get like scary things. I always just go, I guess because I'm more religious, I'm a religious person. I just like, let it be.
Yeah.
If this what it is, then nothing I can do to stop it.
Oh,
and then
crazy.
when I think about like, there's nothing I can do to stop it, I feel less scary.
Yeah.
It's like the ocean freaks me out, but I'll go out there.
Yeah.
I'll even dive. I'll go out there. It's scary, but I just do it anyway.
It's funny. I know you watch Peaky Blinders, right?
Peaky Blinders?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've watched the whole thing. I've watched all of them.
You sound like Tommy Shelby, dude. That guy's not afraid to die. You know?
Yeah, but in that show, he's like nihilistic and he doesn't believe that there is anything. So I read a good book on Winston Churchill, which is way off subject, but Winston Churchill is one of my favorite historical figures ever.
Yeah.
And he said this thing once where he was in World War I and he was in a ditch, in a crater.
Mm-hmm.
They were being bombed, and he decided to leave that crater to move to the next crater, and then they got shelled in that crater and everyone died. And he just decided to walk to the next crater. And he said he came down to the realization is that if it's fate, then there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
If it's luck, then there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
And he's like, I lost the fear because of that.
Yeah.
So if there's a God and there is a fate,
Yeah.
then nothing I can do about it.
Wow.
If there's nothing, there's no existence, and it's just a roll of the dice,
Uh-huh.
I can't control the dice either.
Yeah. That's powerful.
Either one, and that was World War I too. So Peaky
Yeah.
Blinders, he was in World War I in the show, and he was a trencher and he was a digger or whatever, which is insane. I can't even imagine.
Oh yeah.
What those guys had to see and do and all that kind of stuff.
Hell no.
But he's also on heroin in that movie, in that show too, and
Dude.
he's taking drugs.
Oh, I love that show. I'm
It's
so
a great story.
into the mob, man. Like if I was born in the 1900s, I'd be that drunk mobster. You know what I mean? Just
I don't want to hurt people.
Dude, I would be so
don't
down
know.
for the power and for the pimp
no,
code and all
no,
that.
no.
But anyways, man.
No, I like. You know what I like about this show? I like the strategy.
Yeah.
How he destroys his enemies by outthinking them and
Yeah.
outsmarting them.
Yeah.
I like that, but I don't want to murder people. or
Yeah,
take
of
advantage.
course not. I'm just saying that.
I totally get it. They're all pimped out. They dress
Yeah.
all to the nines and they have the power and all this kind of stuff. But I always like the strategy in that show is so good.
Yeah.
And the acting is freaking good. And
Yeah, he's
he's
a mastermind.
Yeah, he's a mastermind.
Dude, he'd like literally, but when it ended, I guess they're gonna pick it up. But like, he said, spoiler alert, that I think I found my match. Like, I found the guy that's gonna match me now. Like,
That was the last one?
yeah, season 5.
I finished it. I don't remember now.
Yeah, remember
last season
the
was, like, so-so.
politician was giving the speech. Dude
Oh,
was-
yeah. I remember that evil politician guy.
Yeah, and he said, I think I found my match, man. Like,
Yeah.
and he starts to walk into the thing, and he's like, with the gun.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that show's so addicting, man. I can't get enough of it, man.
I love that show. It's a good show.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's end it, man.
All right.
Thanks. Peace.
Later.
Let me talk for just a second, help me feel that sense of rhythm. Find the meanings in our bearings and discover this position as a stage along the way.